U.S. Ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee. Ambassador, it's so great to see you, my friend. This is I can't even imagine just how it's feeling over there in Israel. We struck Iran for 13 straight nights. We didn't hit them last night, but it seems like this conflict really seems like it's accelerating. We just heard from Natasha there in the region that so much U.S. military might seems to be headed for that area. What's the sense in Israel now?
I think everybody understands that there is a lot of preparation. People are still hopeful that maybe Iran will come to its senses and decide that it's not going to have a nuclear weapon. It's going to open the Strait of Hormuz. It's going to act like a civilized part of society. But if it doesn't, I think President Trump is making quite clear that the U.S. is prepared to take whatever action is necessary. I thought it was pretty significant this week when Secretary Rubio said that this is not going to be an eye for an eye. This is going to be a head for an eye. It's very clear. And I think the Israelis have been clear. They have not been hit since the ceasefire. And I think, Rita, that is because they know that if they tap Israel, they're going to get a response that is not going to be a strongly worded letter. It will be a very robust response. They know that. And they probably are weighing very carefully whether that makes sense for them to strike Israel.
Yeah, what kind of preparation is being made in Israel, too? I mean, we're seeing all this military buildup in the United States, headed obviously to the region. There's even reports, Ambassador Huckabee, of 100 medics, U.S. medics. The Marines are coming in. It just seems like there's a lot of options. And we both know President Trump well. He's looking at all the options. He, of course, is the one who's going to be deciding. But does there feel like there's this military buildup also in Israel? And we've been also hearing about these public bomb shelters that are being built up, obviously, in preparation for some response from Iran.
One of the things about Israel, they have a very, very significantly and very sophisticated missile defense system. It knocked down 92% of the incoming ballistic missiles during the 6.5 weeks of war. And then it has a shelter system that is ubiquitous throughout the land. Not one person, not one, was injured or killed during 6.5 weeks of active operation with the Iranians this spring if they were in a shelter. So the Israelis live prepared. They know they have to be. I think what we're seeing now, the buildup of military assets, is a great example of both U.S. and Israeli military strategy that says it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. They are in the position of having it. If they need it, they'll be ready.
Yeah, no doubt. And Israel has such a tremendous military. And boy, we think about even in the first days of the war, some of the intelligence and some of the strikes, they were historic and unforgettable. Ambassador, too, before I let you go, a few days after New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani threatened to arrest Israel's Prime Minister Netanyahu, there were 2 people that were stabbed in New York City, and the suspect was shouting Allahu Akbar before attacking a Jewish man. There are members of the community that are railing against Mayor Mamdani for pouring fuel on the fire. Watch this.
Mayor Mamdani, stop fanning the flames of hatred and division. The consequences are not abstract. They're playing out on our streets.
Mr. Ambassador, when you hear that, how concerned are you? And especially when you see what's happening in New York, and what role do you think even some of this rhetoric is playing?
Well, it's incredibly reckless for the mayor of New York, first of all, to pretend that he can do anything about arresting an elected prime minister from a foreign country who, first of all, has diplomatic immunity when he comes, second of all, has not committed a war crime, certainly not guilty of anything to be arrested for, and thirdly, he doesn't have the power. I mean, this guy didn't have the power to go after someone who didn't pay his subway fare. To say he's going to go after an international elected official is nonsense. I'm more concerned, however, that the level of reckless rhetoric that he is portraying is exactly inciting people to do these kind of violent acts. So if anybody gets arrested, it ought to be the mayor for incitement, That's a serious issue, and he is, frankly, just whipping up the attitude, and it's a disgusting thing to watch.
Well, I know very much people are deeply concerned, and sadly, anti-Semitic crimes in New York are on such a tremendous rise. It is something we should all be concerned about. Ambassador Mike Huckabee, it's always so good to see you. Stay safe, and we are praying for peace in that part of the world and everywhere. Thank you.
Thank you, Rita.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.